Welcome to your regularly scheduled intro for the CMM's Mudkip division for week 3. I didn't feel very good whenever I recorded the video. Hey! I didn't feel very good when I recorded the video playing against Common, so I'm gonna have to do this post-commentary. But yeah, we're playing against Professor Chien Pao and Steampunk Princess, Magirna, and the others that are on screen that I couldn't be bothered to remember when I recorded this.
Yeah, sorry about that scuffed intro, and also my freaking Giga Chad posture. Completely forgot where my computer is that I normally record audio on, so I just have the audio off of my camera. So, you know, hopefully nobody will hate me forever because of that. I mean, surely, right? Anyway, yeah, I wanted to lead off with Spite Ups, because why wouldn't I lead off with Spite Ups? Also, if you hear me, like my stomach start being a rumbly tumbly, I hadn't eaten today, so I'm really feeling it right now. I'll probably go do that right after this, because I had some shrimp fried rice yesterday that I didn't eat all of, so that'll be swell. Ignored the breakfast my wife made for me, so oops. Epic Lotad. So, I mean, most of the time I would consider this a pretty good lead for me. Really debated on quick and first impression or sticky webs. Didn't know which one I was going to seem better, you know. Realistically, I think first impression is always the play, but it's not what I clicked, and so I get taunted and then like nothing happens and I can't go for first impression this turn. So let's just, you know, start the first play of the game with a misplay. Always a brilliant maneuver. The only thing is now it either has to stay in to take this U-turn because I have a focus sash so it can't kill me, or it's going to swap out and my Spite Ops is stakeout, so whatever comes in to take this hit is not going to want to take this hit. Great timing for my air to kick on. So yeah, whatever comes in here, I mean, it's only a Spite Up, so it's not like super strong, but it's going to take a boosted U-turn. My focus sash is unfortunately broken though. Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to be a resisted hit, so it's not going to be that bad. Yeah, normally, you know, I'd think maybe Flygon would be good here, or because I know I'm not, like, switching in to take a hit, that, you know, Fluttermane would be good. I also have Flash Fire on my Heatran, so also a viable option.
Just going with the Fluttermane.
Yeah, I'm recording my audio on the computer I do my editing on, but it constantly freezes, so this audio might just be scuffed too. And I might just have to pull it off of my camera again. Yeah. I really should have prepped harder for this knuckle stack, because my flutter main, once the knuckle stack goes to Terrifier, I really didn't bring all that much to hit it, so.
I kind of wish I'd ran Power Gem over what I have Thunderbolt.
So hard swap into Sarina. I know it's going to be Terrifier, but I don't foresee it actually having a fire move or like Terra Blast or anything. So I feel like a pretty free switch in. And then I can knock it off for the, you know, Eviolite boosted defense. Be a lot easier to take care of. And if it went for Stealth Rocks, I could rapid spin it away. Obviously, I could swap into Skeledirge too, but I have knockoff, so there's a little bit of an incentive not to do that.
Swap into Skeledirge, so, you know, they're nice knockoff on it, but. Oh, what berry was that? Okay, the Culver, yeah.
I was thinking Kasib, but I think Kasib is Ghost. Don't quote me on that. You probably can quote me on that, actually. But now I at least know what item it is and know it's not like Shuckaberry or anything like that, which is kind of what I was predicting it to be. Yeah, so I should be able to take a Shadow Ball with this. Shuckaberry if it had Earth Power, and does get Earth. I feel like he gets Earth Power. And then if he went for a Torch Song, then I'd beam you into it. I think realistically Magma Storm would have been better here. Ogrepon's the only thing that can switch in on a Earth Power on this whole team. But, I mean, whatever it would have been, I would have locked it in and done extra damage, and I think it would have just been better. The immediate thing I wanted to do was swap out into Sarina, but it's already shown U-turn, and I kind of don't take that all that well, and U-turn's a pretty predictable play to make in this scenario. So, you know, Kiram resists water and grass at least and isn't weak to the U-turn, so thought that was a little bit better. And it's already shown Taunt, so I don't figure that it has Play Rough, which is what I was most
worried about.
I'm guessing he thought I was Scarfed to just hard swap instead of go for the U-turn. Pretty good damage. I mean, no, it's not Shuckaberry or Air Balloon now. I'm pretty sure when I was calculating it, that's probably Assault Vested. At least that's what I had, I think. Yeah, I think Heatran's just the right play all around here. And fortunately had to take an Aura Sphere, and realistically, if I thought about it, I think I should have not been Chocoberry and maybe been, what's the one for fighting? I would know it if I wasn't doing this right now. I don't know. Whatever fighting resist berry is. I think it would have been better. Seeing how I mainly just wanted this to check Nagirna and maybe check the Skeledirge. Hard swaps, so maybe it doesn't have Volt Switch. Magma Storm connects on the Ogre Pond, so that's good. Obviously it can U-turn, so it's not like permanently stuck in here if it does U-turn out on me. But right now I'm just going to go for the Protect and lock it in for another turn. Yes, like one more, probably kill it. Really debating the double protect here. I mean, without this, I don't have anything to switch into Nagirna, but at the same time, like, it's already like past half health, and I really don't have a switch into Nagirna anyways. I think it would have been better to just stay in an Earth Power. But, I don't know. Stay in Earth Power, or I guess stay in and try to double protect. Yeah, and now, seeing how this is the only thing that was able to switch on Earth Powers, then now I can just kind of freely go for him. But at the same time, if I would have hit the first impression on the first turn, I think he had calced it to where my first impression wouldn't ever kill, but if I had got a crit, or even just got it down to 99%, or I guess 1%, this thing would have never been able to switch in on any of my attacks. And it would have made the game just so much easier to just constantly press ground type move and win. It's pretty close on whether or not this next one would kill, and I really didn't feel like risking it. Last time I went for Aura Sphere whenever I had Kyurem out. So I'm really debating on the Flutter Mane. But at the same time, it could just as easily go for like a Flash Cannon or something. Thunder Wave. I didn't have Thunderbolt, I had Thunder Wave. Problem is that, like, yeah, nothing does anything to Terrify or Knuckle Stack, and I really did not prep for that just at all. But I end up getting Volt switched on. Kind of a bummer. Because this is undoubtedly going to be Knuckle Stack. Go straight back into Sirena. Gonna try to either U-turn, pivot on whatever wants to come in, or just knock this thing's EV light off. I doubt he'd let me do that, but... Stealth rocks go up. Kind of a major issue whenever Skeledirge is going to be so hard to get rid of. So now the rocks are up. Like, obviously, Skeledirge is the next move. Yep. Epic critical hit U-turn. My main issue with wanting to go with Flygon is that I was really worried about like Will-O-Wisp. Did not want to get my Flygon burnt. And my Heatran should outspeed Skeledirge every time. The rocks damage just means this is probably like the last time that I'm able to really switch Heatran in, and I probably just have to let it go down to whatever I get hit by. Alright, and then he just sacks off the Ogre Pond. Which again, if I just went for first impression on the first turn, would have had that thing finished off already. Also kind of regretting not having rocks on Heatran. I probably would have went for it already. I don't remember what 6 they brought, but I don't think they brought any hazard removal either. It's part of the reason I wanted Sticky Webs up so bad, but I want to say they had a Fortress, but I don't think they brought it. And I 100% just debating back and forth on Magma Storm and Earth Power. Terrible. Just go for Earth Power. And instead, I go for Magma Storm. I hit it, sure, but I couldn't remember how much damage that Salt Cure would do to Steel types. And unfortunately, it does a freaking ton to Steel types. So sure, I got that little bit of chip damage, but if I had gone for Earth Power, I mean, well, we're looking at like below half probably. Would have put it in range of probably a Flygon Earthquake. I'm not sure all my calcs on these, so I'm not like looking at them, but and most of this is just because I did not at all prep for Knuckle Stack, and I had prepped for like Terra Fairy Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt didn't even show up. Now I gotta deal with this thing. I wanted to set up the Scale Shot, but Knuckle Stack is just a real pain in my butt right now, so I'm just gonna go for the damage. Okie dokie comes in, no Shookberry, no nothing, does well over half. Yeah, the Ogi Dogi was meant to be like a check for my Urshifu, but I decided not to bring the Urshifu. So Ogi Dogi just kind of did nothing. Except give him a free switch in. Which is sure something. Yeah, that's not great. So yeah, I brought Terra Poison for the old Terra Fairy Raging Volt. But it doesn't really help me all that much now that it's not here. Kind of just have to pick something to sack off. And I chose potentially the worst thing ever to sack off. Why would I do this? I was just worried about rocks, so I wanted to keep Sarina. And Spidops could come in first impression. So that felt important. Karam's my big legendary guy. I didn't want to get rid of him. Realistically, I think Karam should have been the sack here. This Chimpow's freaking adamant, so if I had just kept Fluttermane alive, I hit Thunder Wave so it doesn't hit me with Sucker Punch, and then just win. Yeah, I go for the first impression. I don't figure it'll stay in, but again, I got Stakeout, so it'll do boosted damage to whatever switches in. And I didn't reveal first impression on the first turn, so you know, maybe I don't have it. There's the Necklace deck. See, that did a tremendous amount of damage. And I should have just U-turned or circled through it or anything, but instead I'm like, oh yeah, webs are really important here. As if the Chimpao doesn't have heavy duty boots. I know that the Chimpao has heavy duty boots, but I'm like, well, on the off chance that it doesn't. And now, my big first impression guy that would have been great into Chimpao is getting salt cured, and I haven't got rid of rocks. Well, I could have just U-turned and lived another set of rocks. This is the best part about rewatching videos, is that you just look at everything you did and wonder why. Which again, you know, in my defense, I had a really hurt tummy and a sore head. Hard swapped on the recover because I figured it'd recover. And I didn't want to get hit by a protect if it did, and then my Spidops die when I still have a chance of spinning away rocks. Very low chance of spinning away rocks, I'd like to add. Solid jump. Salt here freaking sucks though. And now I just gonna have to stay in. Like, obviously it's gonna protect. Just to do more salt cure damage. But what else am I supposed to do? Almost wish I'd had Dragon Dance instead of Scale Shot, but you know, those kind of decisions are so up in the air you can't really tell which one would be better. So I took out the Knuckles deck. That's something. And I cannot stand Salt Cure. It damages you even after the Pokemon that used it is dead. And here we go with another misplay. You know, just gonna go ahead and spoil it here. I mean, I have Vacuum Wave. It's gonna go for Sucker Punch because my defense is down. If I just go for Vacuum Wave, I outspeed it. And then I could just click Vacuum Wave a second time and I beat the Chien-Pao and I pretty much just win at that point. But instead I'm like, no, I'm gonna switch out into this in case it has Ice Shard. Okay, but now that Sarena's in, what does Sarena do to Chien-Pao? Nothing. And I don't know. He seemed like he was scared of Sarena and didn't want to risk anything. I was just hoping that it had like Icicle Crash and maybe it would miss. But at this point, I can't get rid of the rocks because Skeledirge and Chien-Pao just had me in a pin. I mean, the game's pretty much over right there, you know? But, as we saw with the game with Crep, you know, the game's not over till the game's over. I think right about here I had realized how much that I had messed up. Well, the other thing with Flygon is I could have just won the whole game with Flygon, except that I was taking Salt Cure damage, which is probably another reason that I switched out, but I don't think it was valid enough when Chien-Pao just took out the whole rest of my team because I got rid of the Flutter Mane. I think it was way too important to try to get something in on the Chien-Pao than to save my Flygon. And I think I said it whenever I was recording. I did not want that Earth Power to kill. If anything, I needed to do good damage to Skeledirge so that I could get the Flygon back in, take out the Skeledirge with a Scale Shot, and then I could potentially beat the Chien-Pao with Vacuum Wave because at this point I'd realized what I had done wrong. But I didn't calc the Earth Power on Skeledirge. It did like 80%. Instead, I was just like, this will do good damage, and I don't want it to recover on me, so, you know, whatever. I'll just click this, and maybe it'll be good enough that I can get the Flygon in next turn if it does decide to kill me. But no, it just straight up killed it. I should have just, like, Draco'd. It was so bad. Reliving all my trauma. Like, what an insanely good play that would have been if I had just let Kirim die to the Skeledirge and came back with the Scale Shot. Like, yes, Magearna could have 100% swapped in and I would have lost anyway. But it, you know, it probably would have been better. At least gave me some kind of chance for him to make a misplay instead of me. At this point, I'm like, okay, well, for some reason, he swapped out last time when I had Sarina in, so maybe he'll be scared again, or maybe he'll go for the Icicle Crash and miss. And now the Skeletor just that I can get rid of the rocks. It's my only out, is if it misses or swaps out. Let me get rid of the rocks, so that eventually I can bring in Spite Ops to first impression the Chien-Pao. Unfortunately, no such misplay happened. Sorry about that. Sorry. It's okay. I'm really good at editing my audio. And by that I mean cutting out all the stupid stuff that I sometimes say that you don't know about. So at this point, my only hope is that I can send in Flagon, go for a Terra Poison. Maybe it did have Ice Shard the whole time, or maybe a huge misplay happens and he goes for Sucker Punch, so that I can click Vacuum Wave twice, because I haven't revealed it, and kill the Chien-Pao, and then just Earthquake the Magearna to win. I mean, like, that sounds ridiculous, but like more ridiculous things have happened, and that's the only way that I can get out of this, because my Spite Ops is just dead on entry. It's not like I'm using Terra Poison for anything else. Woo! Go for the big Vacuum Wave. Got a huge crit off of that. Doesn't matter. They made the right play. Got a huge crit that definitely mattered right back. If it wasn't for the rocks, I could at least kill the Chien-Pao, but Skeletor it's just too good of a, well, I guess a ghost type, but a rapid spin blocker. And that's the game. My poor Spite Ops died. Yeah, I pointed out a lot of misplays that I made that I really think I could have won that was very winnable, and I just fumbled it so hard. And like, I felt bad, but at the same time, you know, gotta use your brain when you're playing the game anyway, even if you don't feel that great. I'll see y'all next week. We play Maki, the biggest bird. Not the spoopy bird, the biggest bird. I'll see y'all next week. Hopefully we can get the win, just off of the nature of it being a Terra? Just off the nature of it being a flying type mono team. Because if, you know, Maki has her way with the freaking Gliscor, I'm screwed.